I was thinking about repetition and the importance of repetition, and its importance plays into many different factors. To refer to something I said earlier, it depends on the paradigm with which you are viewing repetition, but you will find that I repeat myself a bit in these messages to you, in these transmissions, because that is how we learn, is through repetition. And you will find, or at least I have found, that the things that were important to me had themes, and that they were interwoven into many different aspects of my being and how I lived. And they repeated themselves in different forms. So there will be repetition here, and I hope that you find it useful. I remember hearing once that the way to get someone to like a song is to play it for them over and over. Because the first time you hear it, some songs may just hit, but others need to grow on you. And that the context in which I heard that was someone in the music industry talking about how to get people to like songs. Repetition is a way to, that's a bit of a tangent, because that's not the methodology upon which I am using repetition, or that's not the paradigm that's guiding my repetition. My repetition is because if we want to learn things and to change, we have to continually relearn those things. In my experience, very few things did I learn once and then let it stick and remember it going forth through the rest of my life. Things actually were forgotten and had to be relearned. And repetition is that relearning. It is the way, oh yes, that's right. X will get me Y, which I may or may not want. And certain behaviors will lead to certain outcomes. And I need to remind myself, or found through my life, I had to remind myself of numerous things, such as what is important and what gives me meaning. Because it's very easy to forget. It's very easy to get swept up in the tumult of life and lose one's way or lose sight of the destination. And repetition is a way to remember that. And so there will be a fair amount of repetition in this, I suspect. Repetition is also, in terms of art and in terms of my writing, is extremely powerful because it builds resonance. And the repetition of themes, the repetition of issues or actions in a work, hearing the refrain in a written work, which is not always explicit. It can sometimes be a distant refrain, but it's there. It's the undercurrent. And the building of the repetition of certain themes, certain refrains in a novel can give it much more emotional resonance. And so in those terms, repetition is extremely useful to connect with the reader, to evoke the emotion, hopefully, that you are seeking to evoke. Anyway, those are some thoughts on repetition. Take them or leave them as you will, as with everything that I say. And I hope that you go forth and you have a good day. And let me touch upon repetition also, in terms of it is a way to get us to do something. I suppose I am actually like the music industry person who repeated things to get people to like them. I am going to repeat things not to get you to like them, but to get you to at least try them. And in that regard, I shall repeat my refrain of Winnie the Pooh and Clarice Jensen for now, though I am sure I will be adding others. I hope you are well. I hope you go forth with goodness, and know that I am thinking about you always.